Have you ever asked yourself this question? Why are some Nigerians defending Dangote refineries with so much energy against assumed sabotage, and they don't bother to use 1/10 of that energy, 1/10, to make sure that Nigerian refineries are working? Have you ever asked yourself this question? When you ask yourself this question, it will become clear what exactly is going on about Dangote refineries right now. It will become clear whether or not somebody is trying to sabotage Dangote refineries. My name is Benedict Olomu, and I'm interested in a working Nigeria. And a working Nigeria will be a transparent Nigeria where everything is clear for everybody to see. But definitely some people don't want things to be clear. So they will do anything to continue to pull wool over the eyes of Nigerians. Dangote refineries is not being sabotaged. In fact, Dangote refinery is not being sabotaged. How do I mean, and why do I say this? When you talk of sabotage, what is sabotage? Sabotage is a deliberate action to stop something from working. A deliberate action to stop something from working. That is sabotage. So ask yourself, is Dangote refinery working? Is Dangote refinery working? According to Dangote himself, the refinery is working. So if the refinery is working, how is it sabotaged? So before we go on to look down the rabbit hole to establish how he has come to deceive Nigerians into thinking and even believing that he is being sabotaged, or some people are trying to sabotage Dangote refineries. The blame or the propaganda has gone from it's the federal government to no, it's the NMDPRA, some people in government. It has gone to the OICs, now it has gone to even international NGOs, and all manner of persons, from people in government to senators to House of Rep members to journalists, even including David Hundeyin, to even including ordinary President Ahmed Issa. Everybody has been made to believe that some people somewhere are trying to sabotage Dangote refineries. But before we look down that rabbit hole, let us consider this. Sabotage simply means a deliberate effort to make sure something does not work. We answered that question for Dangote refineries. Is it working? And according to the owner himself, or supposed owner, it is working. But let's ask the same question with our own Nigerian refineries. Are our Nigerian refineries working? We are told they are not. How much have we spent to make sure that our own Nigerian refineries are working? Almost $26 billion from 1999. $26 billion spent, and the refineries are not working? Is this not the sabotage we are supposed to be talking about? $26 billion. Year after year we hear of turnaround maintenance. And yet, we are told that the 4 refineries Kaduna, Warri, and the two in Rivers are not working. And nobody is putting energy to scream and shout like everybody is talking now to say, give us our refineries, make them work. Nobody is saying, oh, our refineries are being sabotaged. They are not saying it. But we are putting a lot of energy into pushing this propaganda that somebody somewhere is trying to sabotage Dangote refineries. Dangote refineries is working according to what Dangote himself has come out to tell Nigerians. Even though we have questions that have not been answered. He says Dangote refinery is working, is currently refining diesel, but not petrol. And all of you chemistry students out there, chemical engineers out there who know about fractional distillation, how is it possible for you to refine diesel and not refine petrol? How is it possible? How? What process of refining are you using? We see in the pictures, in the videos of the Dangote refineries, they have a fractionating column, which means they are using fractional distillation. The fractionating column is that long, tall, high tower. That is the fractionating column. So it suggests that they are using fractional distillation. If they are using fractional distillation, how is it possible that Dangote refineries is refining diesel, yet we are not getting bitumen, we are not getting petrol, we are not getting liquefied petroleum gas, we are not getting naphtha, we are not getting lubricating oil, we are not getting chemicals for pesticides, we are not getting ammonia for fertilizers, we are not getting any of those things. We are just getting diesel. How? Somebody should explain this to me. But let's take Dangote's word for it. Dangote refinery is working. So where is the sabotage? All he needs is to get crude oil to refine. And he says that, oh, the government is not giving him crude oil. And that he knows that some people have blending plant in Malta. And later it was traced and people came out with information that, oh, it belonged to Oando, owned by Wale Tinubu, a nephew of Bola Tinubu. It's the Tinubu family that owns it. And rather than come out to confirm or deny, what we hear is that Tinubu has given an order to a supposed private company to sell crude oil to Dangote in Naira. And then after that happens, Dangote then comes out to say, oh, I don't have problem with federal government. I don't have problem with NNPC. It is the IOCs. What is the business of the IOC with selling crude to Dangote? The IOCs have joint venture partnerships with the NNPC to explore or extract crude oil out of the ground. Listen, oh. Listen so that you don't get deceived by this propaganda that the Dangote refinery team have put together. Listen, the IOCs enter into a private joint venture arrangement with the NNPC to explore crude oil from the ground. And the whole essence of that is, okay, we pay in percentages. You take your cost of extracting the crude oil in crude oil. So the IOCs don't get paid in cash. So the IOCs get their own quota from whatever oil they explore or extract from the ground as payment for extracting the crude oil from the ground. They get their own quota. NNPC gets their own quota. So if Dangote wants to get Nigeria's crude oil, he is supposed to target NNPC's portion of the crude oil that was extracted, which is Nigeria's portion really. That is what it's supposed to target. The portion that belongs to the IOCs, the portion that is theirs as a result of the percentage sharing formula in their joint venture, that portion belongs to the IOC. And they are at liberty to do whatever they like with that portion. Why is Dangote going after that portion? And then that portion is smaller than the portion of NNPC. Don't forget. The IOC is now saying, no, we are not selling to you. We have need of it, or we have people who will pay us better. We have a better deal. The IOC say that. And then NNPC goes to public. Dangote Refinery goes to public and begins to scream, oh, the IOCs are trying to sabotage me. What about NNPC? The same NNPC you have come to say you don't have issues with because the president, Tinubu, has issued an order that they should sell fuel to you in crude oil. So if NNPC is serving your interest, how is the IOCs sabotaging you? The IOC's portion of the crude oil is their portion. They are at liberty to do whatever they want with it, to sell to you or not to sell to you. Why not face NNPC? Why go to market with this propaganda of somebody's trying to sabotage you? Now, even if NNPC and the IOCs refuse to sell to you, Dangote and Dangote refineries, this question is for you. You cited your refineries in Lagos Free Trade Zone, and somehow you managed to get the Lagos government to spend Nigeria's money to build you a Lekki deep sea port, which gives you access to international water easily. And you have come out to say that you have access to get crude oil from international market. What stops you from going to buy crude oil from international market and sell and bringing it into your refinery and refining? You will still make profit because it's not only petrol you will refine out of your crude oil. It is not only kerosene. You have other products that you can sell and still make a lot of profit, even if you buy at international market rate, which they will still sell to you at anyway. Only you pay in naira now. If that is the case, what stops you from buying your crude from outside, even if it is 50 cents or $1 more expensive? What stops you? Does that stop your refinery from working? Where then is the question of sabotage coming from? So for me, I see through all the shenanigans. I see through it and it's just pure propaganda and people don't see it. I'm waiting for you to start refining and selling petrol at 600 naira like they are purporting. Already, your people are already coming out to deny that, oh, the 600 naira is the cost to oil marketers, which means oil marketers can put their margin on top of it, which means invariably your fuel will be costlier than that of NNPC. Then I ask, so what was the whole point of blackmailing, quote and unquote, the federal government to give you Nigeria's crude oil cheap and in naira? What was the whole point? I am just pained that you are able to find people who lend themselves to you to support and go ahead with this your narrative that somebody somewhere is trying to sabotage you, when it is obvious that the very existence of the Dangote refineries sabotages Nigeria's refineries. And the same people who are putting so much energy to scream, oh, they are trying to sabotage Dangote refineries, they are not putting even 1/10 of that energy on Nigeria's refineries to make sure it is working so that we can stop the monopoly of Dangote. They are putting so much energy to making sure that Dangote's monopoly exists for real in the name of Dangote Refinery creates a lot of jobs. And they forget that that is putting the nation's energy security in the hands of one man. Worst case scenario or best case scenario, antitrust laws should kick in. But no, they are okay with screaming sabotage for Dangote refineries, not minding that Nigeria's refineries are not working. If ordinary Ahmed Issa, if including David Hundeyin, will put 1/10 of the energy they are putting into driving this narrative that somebody somewhere is trying to sabotage Dangote refineries, if they put that energy into making sure that Nigerian refineries work, Nigerian refineries will be working right now. But no. Somehow they are okay with driving the narrative, and out of nowhere they are able to conjure evidences that they use to hoodwink you, Nigerians, into believing that somebody is trying to sabotage Dangote. For me, David Hundeyin is being used right now to drive this narrative, and he doesn't even know it. He doesn't know it. He's busy giving interviews right, left, and centers now as if he has come on some very big evidence that somebody is trying to sabotage Dangote refineries. He's giving interviews, but he doesn't know it, and I'm surprised he doesn't know it, or perhaps he does, that he's just being used. Look at the story that he's giving. Some NGO that is headquartered in the United Kingdom, in London, but has an office in Nairobi, offers him $500. 500. That is an insult on its own to somebody of the caliber of David Hundeyin, and that doesn't send his alarm bells off to know that something fishy going on. Or maybe his alarm bells went off, but in the wrong direction. And the people come to tell him, write a report to criticize an environmental impact assessment report, to say that, oh, it does not meet green energy criteria. The same green energy criteria that is available for all refineries across the world. It is not only against Dangote refineries they are doing such reports. Even when they shout climate change, the people shouting the climate change, they do these reports about any fossil fuel based industry. They do it, they write it about Boeing, they write it, those reports may be suppressed, but they exist. And then he goes on to say, oh, that the donor agency or the NGO is being funded by donor agencies like Ford and the likes and the likes and the likes. And he forgets that the head of donor agencies, the big fish of donor agencies, is Bill Gates and a friend of Dangote refineries. And if you look behind the curtains, I am very, very sure that people like Bill Gates are part of the shareholders by the construction and the arrangement, the structure of how the IFCs work, how the IFC gives loans or give funding to private corporations in Africa in order to partially own them. If you look behind, I am 50% to 90% sure that Bill Gates is part of the owners. So if an agency really wants to do a smear campaign, it will not be one that is funded by people close to Bill Gates, who is a close ally of Dangote. So obviously they know that when they send that kind of brief to David Hundeyin, they know that he will go in the direction that he is going now, to say some people want to sabotage Dangote refinery. which drives and plays into the narrative of they want to sabotage Dangote Refinery that Dangote is pushing. So indirectly, David Hundeyin is doing exactly what they want, because if they really wanted to induce him to do the report the way his brief suggests, they will offer him better money. So they gave him the money as part of the strategy to discourage him, to make him angry. He's angry. I'm not sure he's angry that they asked him to do that report, because there's nothing wrong with the report. Fossil fuels will never pass any environmental impact assessment report that is done by climate change people. It can never. It can never. It doesn't matter whether it is Dangote or whether it is a refinery in America or in Europe. It can never. The fossil fuel people, the climate change people are against fossil fuel. Whether it is Dangote Refinery or Texas Refinery or Rotterdam refineries. It doesn't matter. But they know. So they set this thing up very clearly. So he's being used. He doesn't know. But that's by the way. What I find very, very annoying is the fact that all of these people, the senators, Nigerian business people, the House of Rep members, some politicians, every one of them are putting in so much effort to scream to the high heavens that somebody is trying to sabotage Dangote refineries. And they don't give 1/10 of that energy to shout that somebody is sabotaging Nigeria's refineries. They don't put that energy to making sure that Nigerian refineries work. Something fishy is going on. Dangote Refinery somehow have succeeded or is succeeding in pulling wool over the eyes of Nigerians. The real sabotage here that is going on is not against Dangote, because Dangote Refineries is working. It is refining according to Dangote, even though people like us do not believe it. The refineries that are not working, that have been sabotaged clearly, despite billions of dollars going into turnaround maintenance of them, are our Nigerian refineries. So if ordinary Ahmed Issa, the Nigerian Senate, senators, House of Rep members, politicians, business people, even journalists like David Hundeyin, should be screaming sabotage of any refineries, it should be the sabotage of Nigerian refineries. It should be the sabotage of Nigerian refineries. So I ask you the question again. Why is it that you, all of you people, some of these Nigerians do not put in so much effort to driving the narrative that Dangote Refineries is being sabotaged, when in fact Dangote Refineries is healthy and working according to Dangote himself and is refining only diesel, something that I find very questionable, that I challenge chemistry students and chemistry graduates and chemical engineers, petroleum engineers to come and prove to me how that is possible. But they say it's working. And then you say it's sabotaged because you didn't get crude oil from IOCs who have the right to do whatever they like with their crude oil. And you leave NNPC because they have made a U-turn now to give you cheap Nigerian crude in Naira. Yet, you're still pushing this narrative of sabotage. May God have mercy on all of you and forgive all of you for being so unpatriotic. Give us our refineries. Give us Nigerian refineries. Give us Port Harcourt refineries. Give us Warri refinery. Give us Kaduna refinery. Let them work. I don't care. I don't give a hoot what happens, whether Dangote refinery works or it doesn't work. It is a private business. We as a country, we need our own energy security. We need our refineries working. You have spent over $20 billion on it. Why is it not working? Give us our refineries. Senators, all of you from the Senate President, House of Rep members, all of you from the Speaker, business people, journalists, all of you, ordinary Ahmed Issa, David Hundeyin, your energy should be directed in this direction. Let them give us our refineries. Let them make our refineries work. Why are our refineries not working despite so much money spent? Why? Why is it that, we cannot gather our engineers? We have the Nigerian Society of Engineers. We have the Congress of Registered Engineers of Nigeria, COREN. We have graduate engineers, petroleum engineers, petrochemical engineers. We have mechanical engineers. We have electronics engineers. We have chemistry graduates, chemical engineers. All of these people, do you mean to tell me for real that if you gather all of these people and you give them 6 months to look at the processes of our refineries, they cannot fix it? What is there in the refineries that our engineers cannot fix? Explain to me. The other day we saw the interview that even Obasanjo gave, and he was saying that, we could not repair the refineries. I went to Shell to help me repair it and run it, and Shell said no. You know, when somebody of the status, the timber and caliber of Obasanjo makes that kind of statement, then I get tempted to agree with the statement credited to Wole Soyinka that he is economically illiterate. So he can be politically literate, but economically illiterate. Because if he were to be economically literate, he will understand that there is no big deal in fixing the refineries. Our local engineers can fix the refineries. In fact, if you take our local artisans, our welders, right, they will produce the pipes, they will produce the equipment that you need to set up refineries locally. We are all here in this country where the same Nigerian will be used to go and destroy artisanal refineries. And they encourage even modular refineries because the materials that will be used for the production or setting up of those modular refineries will come from abroad. And they don't see that in bringing those equipments from abroad, you are creating unemployment here. You need energy and steel for us to industrialize. But the steel part, you leave it dead, which is another story for another day. And then the refinery part, you want to make it dependent on foreign inputs. Can't you see that that is not an economically smart decision to make? That is why I tend to agree with Wole Soyinka that the person who said Obasanjo was not economically literate or was economically illiterate might just be right. Why can't our local engineers fix our refineries? And if they can't fix it, why can't you encourage, instead of destroying artisanal refineries, why don't you standardize them? Well, no, they won't standardize them. They won't educate them along such lines, which is part of the problems with our education or educational system, the one that was handed to us by the same people. And it's all tended towards making sure that we are never developed. It's the same people telling the governors to destroy artisanal refineries, that the artisanal refineries are not good. They are not international standard. What is international standard? International standard is somebody's standard. International standard is Chinese standard. International standard is European standard. International standard is American standard. What is Nigerian standard? Did their own standard start the way it was? Did they not grow into the standard that they have? Why can't we start with our own artisanal refineries and grow in our own standard, step by step? Why can't we do that? But rather, it is to put attention to drive the narrative that Dangote wants them to drive. I've said it before. The whole Nigeria can decide to be blinded by Dangote Refinery's propaganda, that they are being blackmailed, they are being sabotaged. I don't care about that. What I am interested in is that Nigerian refineries must work. So I say to all of you, leave Dangote Refinery. It's a private business. Ordinary Ahmed is that leave Dangote Refinery. It's a private business. Senators, governors, all of you, leave Dangote Refineries. Focus that energy on our Nigerian refineries. Make sure they work. I don't want to hear anybody shouting Dangote Refinery Sabotage anymore. Focus that energy on Nigerian refineries. And I don't want to hear those people who say government have no business in business. Any serious country will ensure it's a matter of national security. For your nation's energy security, you need government to run some sectors. Look at Russia. Look at China. Look at India. Look at Saudi Arabia. Look at Iran. It is only America. And the way America is structured, they wrote this new, international rules-based system for the world so that they can use their own private corporation to control the world. That's how they wrote it. But you see, even their own private corporation, they have the Defense Industry Act. There's a law they have that gives power to the president and the government to commandeer their corporation to do whatever the hell they like. They did it. Trump did it during COVID. When they commandeered Boeing, they commandeered Northrop Grumman. They turned it into a manufacturing facility for COVID equipment. And in times of war too, they can do it. They commandeer it to manufacture things for war. And in any case, whatever happens in the world, they say you are investing in agriculture and you import anything from America. It's not investment you have invested in agriculture. You have invested in American system, empowering them. Because so long as they are supplying you your stuff, you are becoming poorer, they are becoming richer. So it's not investment that we need in this country, it's development. So the Americans structured their way into colonizing the world, and many of us who claim to be economic experts fail to realize this weaponization of privatization against unwary countries. We need our refineries to be working. So give us our refineries. Give us our refineries. If Russia will have state-owned refineries, China will have state-owned refineries, India will have state-owned refineries, Libya will have state-owned refineries, Egypt will have state-owned refineries. Why can't Nigeria have a state-owned refineries? In fact, the annoying thing is that of all OPEC countries, it's only Nigeria that does not have state-owned refineries. And instead of having all Nigerians put hands together to say the people that are in charge of it, that have collected $20 billion plus and refuse to make the refineries work. Instead, even if the refineries won't give us our capacity, make them work. And then we'll now start talking about using our own local engineers to come up with designs for our own refineries. That way we don't waste and put unnecessary pressure, FX pressure on our naira. But give us our refineries. So if you guys are patriotic as you claim, David Hundeyin, Ordinary President Ahmed Issa, Nigerian senators, governors, journalists, if you are patriotic as you claim you are looking out for the interest of Nigeria. It is not Dangote's refinery that you should be looking at to. That is owned by the people you people are saying are trying to blackmail Dangote Refinery. They are the ones that own it. How much is Dangote's money inside that refinery? How much is Nigeria's money inside that refinery? We are told Nigeria is 7.2%. The remaining 93%, and 92.8%. 92.8%. Who are the owners? Who has it? Who has the 92.8% of Dangote refineries? Go and check. It is very, very, very likely you will find the same international oil companies through the World Bank and IMF, through their International Financing Corporation, IFC, through private businesses owned by these same people. They are also on the board of that Dangote refineries. So you guys are just fooling and deceiving yourselves, driving that narrative. They need it to get what they want from Nigeria, and that is they cannot sell below NNPC price. That's the whole essence of them pushing this narrative. They want to sell above NNPC price. I am waiting to be proven wrong on this. When Dangote's petrol hits the market and it is selling for 400 naira or 300 naira or 350 naira, I am waiting. Then I will come out and say, oh, I was wrong. But they are doing all of this so that they can sell at par with NNPC, and you will not question them because you will say, oh, they are getting their crude oil from the international market. That's what they are doing. So if you are really interested in Nigeria, what you need to do is to pull your weight behind making sure that Nigerian refineries work. I hope you will take this challenge and stop being playboys or playgirls or play people for Dangote refineries. Nigeria first.